Hey everybody, welcome back to When Harry Met Board Games. I am Harry, and before we go any further, please don't forget to hit the like button down below, and please subscribe to our channel if you're interested in some more board game related content. Today we're going to be playing through the game of Dungeon Roll. Dungeon Roll is a quick filler dice rolling game with a dungeon delving fantasy theme. Now, while this game can play up to 4 or 5 players, I believe. This game has a wonderful solo variant, which I actually think is the optimal and best way to play. Players are competing to acquire as much gold and treasures and experience points as possible throughout the game by sending their group or team or band of heroes out there to defeat different monsters, to defeat dragons, and to steal different treasures and all sorts of stuff. Now, the game is basically a simple dice rolling game, and it consists of 3 different rounds in which you are trying to progressively grow in experience, level up your characters, and hopefully go further and further and deeper into the dungeon with each successive turn. Now, let me show you a little bit of the setup. First of all, this game comes in a nice little container, which is the shape of a treasure chest. And not only does this serve for the purposes of storing your game, but also it has an in-game purpose as well, because inside you have a bunch of loot and treasure that you will be blindly sticking your hand and digging from every time you steal a treasure or defeat a dragon in his lair. So we've got this. We're going to set it aside. We have a pool of experience points, which we'll be using to accrue over the course of the game. We will start with a player character here. This is the Enchantress. She gives you a specialty ability, which scrolls, which is one of the sides on the hero dice, can be used as any companion. And companion is just a synonym of the heroes. All the heroes are considered companions. The scroll is basically a wild for the Enchantress, and she could use it as any companion. Also, she has a once a round ability called Charm Monster, where she could transform one monster from the monster dice into a potion. And basically, potions allow you to heal and recover previously used companion dice. So that is her special power and her once a round power. And finally, she needs 5 experience points to level up. Now, you don't give in these experience points. You don't turn them in and cash them in to level up. You simply just have to have those 5 experience points. And when you level her up, you flip her over to the next side, and she becomes the Beguiler. And she has the same special ability. Scrolls may be used as any companion. However, her once a round ability is now Mesmerize, which allows her to transform 2 monsters into 1 potion. So you still only get 1 potion out of it, but you're allowed to turn 2 monsters into 1 potion. So thus, you are eliminating an additional threat, right? So that's a pretty cool power. So we'll start with her on the non-leveled up side, the Enchantress side. You also have this player aid here, which allows you to see what different dice rolls will accomplish for you, what different tokens that you get from the treasure chest here, what they do for you. So it's a great player aid to have handy. All right, so now we're going to move on to the actual game. So the first thing you do in round 1 is you set your threat die here to the number 1, right? And basically, you're going to be going through the dungeon until you're no longer able to defeat monsters and basically have to retreat. And when you retreat, you're going to score experience points equal to the number on the threat die when you last successfully went through the delve, right? So you're going to be going through the delve, you're going to be choosing to go deeper, or you're going to be choosing to retreat at the end of every successful delve. And once you choose to retreat, or once you fail, because there is a little bit of press your luck, you can fail in your endeavor to push forward. Once you fail or retreat, that's the end of a round, and then you move on to the next round. And again, there's only 3 rounds. So we're starting by putting the threat die here on number 1. All right. And then you roll your 7 companion dice. And you just get 1 roll. So those are what I rolled. So first of all, I rolled a fighter here. And what the fighter allows me to do is, first of all, any die can be used to defeat any one monster that you'll roll later. However, each particular companion has a specialty, a special monster that he or she is more powerful against. Thus, they can eliminate 3 of them at a time. So the fighter can eliminate 3 goblins with just 1 die. So that's what the fighter does. I will set him aside. Here I have this one right here. This is the cleric. And the way the cleric works is the cleric has the specialty of defeating the undead, represented by this skeleton symbol here. So the cleric can defeat 3 undead at one shot. And I have 1 cleric. I have no mages, but the mage's specialty is to defeat the ooze. They could defeat 3 ooze creatures in one shot. And then I have 2 of these thieves right here. And the way thieves work is they allow you to open up 3 treasure chests. So treasure chest is one of the sides of the monster dice, and the typical companion can only open up 1 treasure chest per die. However, the thief can open up 3 treasure chests per die. And then finally, I've got 2 champions. These are champions, and the champions are just the most powerful guys out there. They can defeat 3 of anything and open up 3 treasure chests. So that's amazing. And also I got a scroll, which the way a scroll works is you could always turn in a scroll to reroll any amount of dice from either your companion dice or from the monster dice, your choice. However, because I'm the enchantress, instead, I could choose to make this any companion of my choice, and I will. I'm going to set it aside for now. I'm not going to choose just yet, because depending on what I roll going forward in this delve might determine what I want to change it to, but it is going to be right there waiting for me. So now I'm going to roll dice from the monster dice, and I roll the dice equal to the amount on the threat die. So the threat die is only at 1, so I only have to roll 1 die right here. And I rolled a potion. The potion is great. It's not a threat at all, first of all. I don't have to expend any dice to defeat it. But what you can do with the potion is you can turn in any 1 die to consume as many potions as you've rolled, and retreat or recover companion dice, previously used companion dice, back into your supply, right? So it gives you the ability to put them back. Now you have to retrieve them just the way that you rolled them, I believe. I'm pretty sure. So they're no. You retrieve them at any side of the die that you choose. That's even better. So basically, you resurrect them, and you also get to choose what companion you have. However, if you only consume 1, you could only do 1. Well, I'm not going to do anything with this because I have no used dice, so this is irrelevant to me. So what I'm going to do is I successfully encountered the first stage of the delve. I will up the threat die to the number 2, and now I will roll 2 dice. And I rolled a goblin, and I rolled a undead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose to use my fighter here. And I'm going to choose to use I'm not going to use my fighter because I only have 1 of those. I'm going to choose to use my thief because, again, any die could defeat any 1 monster. So I'm going to choose to use my thief to defeat the undead. And I'm going to choose to use this champion to defeat this goblin. And the reason why is because eventually it's going to get to the point where the threat of the dragon becomes so significant that you must have an encounter with a dragon. And to defeat a dragon, you need to have 3 dice of a different side, of a different face. It doesn't matter how powerful they are. If they're not 3 different types of dice, 3 different types of companions, you cannot defeat the dragon. So I decided to use the 2 dice that I had multiples of in order to preserve the variety amongst my dice. So again, I successfully passed that challenge of the delve, and I will up the die to the number 3. And now I will roll 3 monster dice. Okay, so I've got a dragon. So first things first, you must set aside any dragons that you roll. You set them aside. They're actually eliminated from the regular pool of dice, and they remain there until you've accumulated 3 or more dragon dice. And at that point, at the end of that delve, you must encounter the dragon. So we've got that there. And we've got an ooze and an undead. So now I'm going to choose to use my, this is really, really tough. I'm going to choose to use my, I could use my once around power and transform one of these into a potion. That's something I could do. That is something I could do. I'm considering that. But you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to transform one of these into a potion. Okay. And I'm going to use this guy right here to defeat that, to consume that potion, resurrect a dice in the face of the die that I choose. I choose a champion. And I'll use this champion to defeat this ooze. And now I'm done. Again, I've been successful. I raised the threat die by 1. We're at 4. And now I roll 4 dice. And here we go. All right, I got 2 potions, which is great. I've got a dragon, which I'll set aside. And I've got a goblin. So first things first, I am going to use this champion here, this fighter here, to defeat this goblin. And now I'm going to use this scroll right here to consume these 2 potions and retrieve 2 more dice for me. I'm going to retrieve another fighter, and I'm going to retrieve a scroll, because for me, scrolls are wilds. Okay, so again, I've been successful, and now I have the tough decision, right? Because I've only got 4 dice left. You're losing dice as you go along, but you're rolling more dice from the threats, from the monsters. So it becomes difficult whether or not you can, face this challenge. So I'm going to take the huge risk of proceeding forward, pushing forward in the delve, and I'm going to raise the die to 5. And now I got to roll 5 monster dice. And if any of these are dragons, I'm actually in really big trouble. And luckily for me, none were dragons. As a matter of fact, very fortunate for me, 3 of these are goblins, and I have a fighter. So I could just use this one fighter to eliminate these 3 goblins. So see you later. All right, and then I could use any one of these dice to defeat the ooze, and any one of these dice to open up the treasure, and I will. So now I put my hand in there. You guys can see, but I'm looking the other way. And I'm going to grab any one token. And I've got this symbol here. And we can check here with our little key. This symbol here is the Scepter of Power, and it could be used as a mage. So at any point in the game, you can turn this token in, and it would represent the equivalent of a mage. However, if you save this for the end of the game, it will count towards your victory points. So there's that. So now I'm going to retreat because I only have 1 die and there's not much I'm going to be able to do. I'm going to retreat and I'm going to score experience points equal to the threat die, which is 5. So I'm going to score 5 experience points in just the first round. And now, because I've scored 5, I get to level up my Enchantress. And now my Enchantress becomes a Beguiler. All right, so now I have an additional ability. I could transform 2 monsters into 1 potion as opposed to just 1. So now we will proceed to round 2. We raise the threat die to the number 6 right here. And I get to roll all 7 of my companion dice once again. Here we go. All right, so I've got 2 fighters, and I've got a cleric, and I've got a mage, and I've got a thief, and I've got 2 scrolls, which for me are 2 wilds. Now I've got to roll 6 dice from the monster dice. However, there are only 7 dice in the supply, and 2 of them are already being allocated in the dragon's lair as dragons. So I cannot roll those 2. So I can only roll 5. So that's actually pretty good news. To some extent, having dragons keeps the other monsters at bay. So I roll these 5. Look at that. I just spoke of it. So these 2 here go there. And now I've got to, this is a tough decision. I'm actually going to, should I use my once around power? I'm not going to use my once around power. I'm actually going to use this fighter right here to defeat this undead. And then I will just use this potion here to consume these two, but I could only resurrect one. It has to be an already. You can't resurrect the same die you use for the consumption of the potion. So I'm going to resurrect this as another scroll because, again, these are very valuable to me as the Beguiler. And now I am obligated to face the threat of the dragons. And here's the thing. No matter how many dragons there are, it's still the same outcome. You need to have 3 different companions in order to defeat the dragon. So I will defeat the dragon. I'm going to turn in 3 different companions. I will use this as well, this is a fighter. I'm going to use these 3, actually. I'm actually going to use these 3. I'm going to set these 3 wilds apart. I'm going to use these 3 right here, and that will defeat the dragon. And when you defeat a dragon, not only do you get an additional experience point, but you also get to steal the dragon's treasure. So you go back into the treasure chest and blindly draw 1 token. And I've drawn this right here. And if we look at our little key right here, this is the thief's tools. And this can be used as a thief. So just like this can be used as a mage, this can be turned in for a thief. All right. And I'm actually going to go forward. I only have 3 dice, but I feel really good about these 3 dice because these can be anything I want them to be. And I still have my once around special ability to transform monsters into poison. So I'm going to keep on going forward. I'm going to raise the die, the threat die, to a 7. And now I actually do have 7 dice to roll. And I'm going to roll all 7 of these dice right here. Woo! So I've drawn 1 dragon right here. And I've got 2 ooze, 2 goblins, and 1 of these undead. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my ability here to turn this into 2 monsters. I get to turn 2 monsters into a potion. So there's that. And there's this. And then I will use this scroll here as a mage. And the mage allows me to defeat up to 3 different ooze. So there's 2 oozes here, and they are defeated. And then I'll use this as whatever I want it to be, and it could defeat this goblin. And finally, I'm going to use this scroll, again, as whatever. You could actually, even if you're not the Beguiler, you could use the scrolls to consume potions. So even if they're not wild companions for you, even if they're just scrolls, if you're another player character, you could still use them to consume potions. So I'm going to turn this in, and because there's 3 potions, I get to resurrect 3 different companions on any side of the die that I want. And I'm going to choose, again, scrolls. So I've got the 3 scrolls. So I am going to proceed and actually turn this into an 8. So now we're going to roll. We don't have 8 dice. No matter what, you only have 7. One of them is a dragon. So I'm going to roll 6 dice and see how I do here. The reason why I'm feeling a little bit brave is because I do have these extra 2 tokens that I could turn in. So here we go, baby. All right. So that was actually not too good. I drew 3 dragons right here. So I'm going to face the dragon afterward. But luckily for me, I have 3 goblins. So I am going to use this right here. Ooh, I could turn 2 of those goblins into oh no, I already used my once around power, so I can't turn into potions. So I will use this as a fighter. A fighter could defeat up to 3 goblins. Sayonara. And now I gotta face the dragons with 3 different types of companions. Each of these can represent a different companion. However, I would need a 3rd. And that's where these tokens come in handy. So I'm actually gonna turn in the thief's token, because I feel like the thief is a little bit less necessary. He helps me steal treasure, but he's not a fighter. He cannot beat the monsters, efficiently, as a mage could with the ooze, for example. So I'm going to turn this back in. This goes back into the supply, and you shake it up. And then these 2, and I defeat the dragon. And again, when you defeat the dragon, you score 1 experience point. And again, go back and steal some treasure from the dragon's lair. And I've drawn this right here. And this, if we look at our key, is the talisman. And this could be used as a cleric. Now, not all of the tokens are used to represent different companions. Some of them give you unique and special abilities or score you points in different ways. So far, it's been my luck that I've been drawing these companion tokens. So now I have no dice left. Very easy decision. I am leaving. and I will score points again equal to the number on the threat die, which here is 8. So I'm going to score 8 more experience points, which are your victory points at the end of the game. And now we will proceed to the third and final round. I get to untap my Beguiler here, and she has her once around ability available to her again. So I'm going to roll my 7 companion dice here. Okay, I rolled a fighter, I rolled a cleric, I rolled 2 mages, and how lucky for me, I rolled 3 scrolls, which again, because I'm the Beguiler, lets me use them as anything I want. And we will increase the threat die to 9. It was just at 8. We will increase it to 9 right here. And this is the penultimate, because once you have 10 represented by this dragon here, that's the final level of the dragon die. So no matter how quickly you come to it, if at all possible, if you get to the level 10 in round 2, the game is over at that point too. You cannot go beyond level 10. So this is 9. There isn't 9 dice for me to roll, but I will roll the 7. All right, and I've already rolled 2 dragons. I will set them aside. I've got a goblin, 2 undead, an ooze, and a potion. So I am going to use this fighter here to defeat the goblin, and I will use this cleric here to defeat these 2 undead. And you know what? As a matter of fact, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And then I will use this mage to defeat this ooze, and I'll use this other mage to consume this potion and resurrect any other die with the face of my choice. I will choose the scroll, and we will continue. And I will move to the 10th and final level here. So let's see what happens here. So I roll the dice here. I rolled another dragon, so I will have an encounter with a dragon to end this game. How convenient and appropriate for the game to end with a battle against the dragon. So I've got these 2 dice here. And what I'm going to do is, because this is definitely going to be my last turn no matter what, I'm going to use my once around ability, and I'm going to turn them into 2 different... Actually, you know what? I am tempted. I'm tempted. I haven't actually used my scrolls. I haven't used my scrolls for their original ability, which is for reroll. And I think I want to do that, because I want to maximize my points. I have 3 right here. This is enough to defeat the dragon. I could be risking it, but I'm going to go with this, actually. I'm going to use this scroll to reroll any amount of dice that I want. I could choose it from the companions, but I could also choose it from the monster dice. And I'm actually going to choose to reroll these, because I'm actually hoping for some treasure here. Let's see what we get. Okay, I got more dragons here. More dragons here. I still haven't used my power, because I was going to use my power, but I chose to undo that. You know what? I'm getting crazy here. I might live to regret this. But I'm going to do this again. I'm going to use a reroll. The only reason I'm doing this is because I do have these 2 tokens, which I could use later on to defeat the dragon. So I'm going to roll these 2. And I rolled another dragon. And you know what? I'm starting to realize that I'm not going to get any treasure. So now I'll use my ability. There's only 1 monster. I will transform this into a potion, which is irrelevant. I could turn in a die for another die. Now I must face the dragon with 3 different types. These 2 here represent 2. And I'll turn in 1 of these tokens for the 3rd. And I've defeated the dragon, successfully endured this delve. And I get to score 10 experience points. 10 experience points at the end of this round. And we are done. And now I will score my points. Basically, you score all your experience, which first of all I have 10, 15, 20, 23, 24, and 25. And then you score points for your additional tokens. So I believe you score 1 point for each different token. So treasure tokens are worth 1 experience each. So this gives me a 26th point. So that was 26 points. And that is the game. That is Dungeon Roll, guys. Simple, light fantasy theme, but it still gives you a little bit of that dungeon crawl experience, that press your luck, push forward, what's behind the next corridor, what's around the other corner type of feel. And again, plays real quick, plays real simple. This felt a little bit longer because I was explaining the rules as we go, but it's a quick 15-minute experience of a game. So that's Dungeon Roll. If you're interested in, maybe you should give it a try or give it a buy. Thank you so much for watching us here at When Harry Met Board Games. Once again, I am Harry. Please don't forget to hit the like button down below and subscribe to our channel if you're interested in some more board game related content. Thank you so much and take care. Bye-bye.